Hey guys, welcome back to Rossoneri TV. I'm Gio and I'm here for the match preview of AC Milan against Palermo. Matchup will be played tomorrow, Sunday, April 9th at 3 p.m. Italian time at the San Siro. It is a vital match, of course. 9 games remaining in the Serie A season, and really it's time to take it by the neck, really, these games, because last week we suffered a very disappointing result against Pescara. A very disappointing result. You could definitely hear all about my rant if you look at the channel on the past videos. I really ranted out my frustrations in that match. But that match is done. Now we have to look forward to the next game, and of course that is the game against Palermo. Palermo, another team that is not doing too well in the Serie A season. Matter of fact, they're actually in the relegation zone, but like we saw last week, we cannot say anything. Just because a team is in the relegation zone does not mean that that team will not show up to play, that that team will suffer a defeat, because we saw the same thing with Pescara. Pescara is currently even 1 point behind Palermo, and yet, they came out, they imposed their style on us, and they made us suffer, and that resulted in a 1-1 draw instead of a game in which we should have won, a game in which we should have got the 3 points. Now, we are playing at the San Siro, finally a good sign to be back home, and hopefully that will play a major role in getting us the 3 points. But other than that, I think a lot of emphasis is already on the Derby della Madonnina, which will be played next week. But we have to take it game by game. It's time to really focus game by game. Like I said, there's 8 games remaining in the Serie A season. It's time to really, put the emphasis on each game separately instead of, just focusing on the long run. Because like we've seen last week, Inter dropped points. They actually lost their game against Sampdoria last weekend, so I was really happy about that. Today, we saw Atalanta dropping points against Sassuolo, and that means that if we pick up 3 points, I think that will put us momentarily only 2 points behind Atalanta, which is not too bad. They're playing Roma as well next weekend, so really, there's still a lot up for grabs. Milan is definitely still in contention for the Europa League position, and it's going to be like that until the final match day. I could almost guarantee you guys. And like I said, we have to take it game by game. There's no other reason. What's important is that we get the 3 points and we walk out of the San Siro with those 3 points and not make the same mistake like we did against Pescara. But let's talk about the probable starting 11, because we will be seeing some returns. So let's take a look at it here, as Donnarumma will be starting in net. We got Calabria playing on the right side, Zapata, Romagnoli in the middle as the center backs, De Sciglio on the left side. We got Kuchka, Jose Sosa, and Pasalic in the midfield, Suso, Baca, and Deulofeu up front. And one thing that I could definitely see right away is, that Suso is back, and that is already a very good sign. I think we missed him in the past couple of games. I think that, seeing Deulofeu playing on the right side and Ocampos on the left definitely wasn't my cup of tea. I think that, Ocampos, more times than not, he was trying to do a lot with the ball, but more times than not, he was unfortunately not getting through opponents, and simply, I don't know, his style was very lackluster. I was a bit, hesitant about how he was playing. But now, Suso back in that starting 11, I think that's the best thing we could possibly see in this team right now, knowing, like I said, that there's only 8 games remaining. Deulofeu on the left side, the guy's been playing very good. He's been giving it his all in every performance, so I'm very happy about that. Baca, yes, we've talked about a lot about him this year. He's been getting the goals, but he needs to do more. I find against Pescara, he really didn't do enough. I think Lapadula got more touches than him, actually, from what I read on the statistic, and that to me is a bit problematic. Seeing that, I think Lapadula only played something like 20 minutes or something. I don't really remember how much he played, or 30 minutes. Anyways, the point is that in those 30 minutes he played, he got more touches than Baka. That to me, speaks volumes. Baka needs to be more involved. He needs to go get the ball himself. But it's always the same repeating story that we mentioned time and time again for Baka. That is exactly the problem with him, and that's a problem that he needs to fix. In terms of the midfield there, we got Kuchka once again starting on the right side. I could already see some people in the comments section saying, why does Kuchka even start? He doesn't really bring any attacking flair. He doesn't really, he's not a playmaker. He's more of a ball winner. I think it's still important to have a ball winner in that midfield, that's for sure. But I could definitely see your points, guys, when you say that Kuchka doesn't really contribute to the play, doesn't really contribute to the attack. That's why Montella, time and time again, mentioned that, sometimes he asks himself the same question. Why do I have to play Kuchka? You see, to me, it's like it's a glass that's half filled, half empty, because simply, Kuchka, I like him as a player, but at the same time, I believe that, like Montella says, it's not a player that's always needed in every circumstance. He's more of a player that could come on, maybe during the game, and help out that midfield in winning possession. Either if we're losing or we're winning, I think I see him more of an impact player coming in. I don't really see him as a player that could play the full 90 minutes in that regard. Mainly because he doesn't really contribute to the attack. Yes, he does contribute defensively, but we need guys that could do both. And I don't think Kuchka is really that type of player. Even though sometimes he does go on those solo runs, he could be a threat on set pieces, on counterattacks, but still definitely not my cup of tea for a guy that, has been playing so much in the midfield, doesn't always contribute to both sides. Pasalic, he was a goal scorer last game, so I guess it's only fair to give him another start. I think he could do good. Jose Sosa, once again, prefer to Locatelli starting in the middle. Simply, I don't know what to say about that. Locatelli, I don't know if he needs some rest. Maybe Montella seeing better things with Jose Sosa during the week. That's why he's trying to play him more. But I wouldn't be surprised if during the game, Locatelli will get some minutes, just like we saw against Pescara. Now, the back four, we saw Calabria there starting on the right and Deschillo on the left. I think that's going to be the more preferred duo in terms of fullbacks for Montella going on to the rest of the season. But I can't really complain. Calabria playing on the right side is okay for me. We saw him on the left side a few times this season. He disappointed me on that left side, but I know he could do much better on that right side. So I'm happy regarding him starting tomorrow. Deschilly on the left side, we've seen him countless times there. So definitely no problems. In terms of the center back pairing, Zapata and Romagnoli are expected to start. Paletta, I think he's been a bit hesitant, a bit shaky in recent weeks, picking up way too many silly bookings. And maybe, Zapata, that's been playing pretty, he's been playing pretty safe. He's been playing good whenever he was getting the chance in these past few months. Maybe he does deserve, once again, the start. So we'll see exactly what Montella thinks of this, but more likely than not, that will be the center-back pairing. Donnarumma, of course, will have to make up for that mistake somehow last game. But I don't think it will really affect his performance, his mindset going on in the later stages of the season. Every goalkeeper is prone to making those mistakes. Let's just hope it doesn't happen again anytime soon. So yeah, that's about it for the lineup, guys. Like I said, I don't see any problems with it. All I'm asking is that we come into this game fully determined and we go out there to win this game and not really play like we did against Pescara. I find against Pescara, we were just too slow, way too slow. We gave Pescara all the time in the world to impose their style on us, and that's why we didn't win the game. Yes, we had some very good chances where we should have scored, but at the end of the day, that's pretty much the case that I'm trying to make. Pescara imposed their game on us, mainly because, we weren't playing as fast as we should have. We were playing down to their level, and that's exactly what I was mentioning last game in the match review. We were playing down to Pescara's level. And that cannot happen again tomorrow at the San Siro against Palermo. We need to impose the game. We need to be the dominant side. We need to be in control. So let's see if that's the case tomorrow. Now, guys, make sure to leave your thoughts in the comment section. I'll be reading them for the next few minutes. Let me know exactly what you think about this matchup. Will Milan have trouble again like we saw last week against Pescara, a team that was in the relegation zone, still gave us problems, or you think we'll have an easier time this time against Palermo? Let's also recall that last time we played Palermo, we beat them 2-1 earlier this season, and it was thanks to a late effort from Lapadula. And even that occasion, you know, we were actually trailing, if I'm not mistaken, in that game. Someone please correct me because I don't have every game on top of my head. But the point is here that we had to leave it late. And once again, we were having difficulties against Palermo. So let me know exactly what you guys think in the comment section, as I'll be reading your comments as we speak. Seyun says Kuchka actually contributes to the offense as well because he shoots the ball really well. He even scored a few goals. Just that he looks bulky doesn't mean that he doesn't have skill. He's our best central midfielder in my opinion. I completely agree with you there, Seyun. I definitely believe that he scored a lot of goals, and I really am happy about that. And I said it time and time again. I like how Kuchka goes on those solo runs. I like how he takes the chance to shoot even when he doesn't really see that he has the best of chances. But yes, I'm happy with the way he shoots. Definitely, that's not the problem. I'm happy. I'm actually surprised that he's got that many goals. But like Montella mentioned, you know, sometimes it's like, will there be, if there was a better player instead of Kuchka, a guy that could be a playmaker, a guy that could contribute defensively, someone like Deulofeu. Obviously, Deulofeu is not a midfielder, but what I'm trying to say, a guy with his qualities. Because let's be honest with ourselves, Deulofeu also contributes to the defense. All kinds of times I saw him running back, helping out the defense, and dispossessing the opposition. So many times. What I'm trying to say is that if we had a player like that instead in the midfield, that would be amazing. But I don't personally have any complaints with Kuchka. I like how he plays, that's for sure. What I'm trying to say is that sometimes I feel like he's doing more of the work in the midfield, and that could be maybe a kind of player that you would rather see when there's difficulties winning the ball, or there's difficulties keeping that possession, or, you know, regaining the possession from the opposition. That's really what I like Kuchka for. I'm not a fan of him, you know, because he's not known for these traits. He's not known for scoring traits. Yes, this season he's been getting goals, but technically speaking, he's not known for those traits. So what I'm trying to say here is that I prefer him for other aspects of his game rather than the attacking aspects. But if he could have all of it, if he has the right balance, you know, if he's able to impose his physicality and his scoring ways, then by all means, I accept this player. I obviously accept him nonetheless, but what I'm trying to say here is that, you know, sometimes I just wish we had a more well-rounded midfielder than just, you know, Kuchka there. Dean Darko says, "Ciao Gio, Forza Milan. I like you have been busy with the birth of my second son, Leonardo Dino Darko. He was born a red and black on the 4th of March, 2017. Well, congratulations there, Dean. Really congratulations to your son. And congrats to you on making him a Rossonero. I think that's the most important thing right there. Lagarto27 says, "If Milan doesn't score more than one goal, I will be pissed, and I want to change our formation or tactics against future teams that are of this level." I agree with you, Lagarto. Once again, last game we only saw one goal against Pescara, and to me that was just embarrassing to say the very least. Palermo, this is the second worst defense of the league, 63 goals against. And yet again, you know, this is a team where we should be scoring more than one goal. It's absolutely horrific if we don't manage to score more than one goal. And in recent games, we really haven't been able to score many goals, besides the game against Chievo where we scored 3. But really, all those other games, we only score one goal, or sometimes, you know, we were just clean-sheeted. So I definitely hope that we score more goals in that aspect. And also, the formation, I don't think it's really going to change. I think going forward this season, that's going to be the road with that 4-3-3. Maybe in the future, but as far as this season goes, I don't think so. Christy says, Gio, will you do a watch along against Palermo? Yes, the watch alongs are back starting this weekend. Once again, my apologies last weekend for not having one. Like I had mentioned, there were several issues with YouTube and the partnership that I'm currently with. Therefore, I had to put a stop to the watch along. But everything has been resolved. The watch along with the match review will return tomorrow. So rest assured, you could definitely stay updated with everything going on AC Milan going forward for Rossoneri TV. That's for sure. Afis says with Suso back, I'm sure we will be able to pose threat down both flanks. We have been attacked down only on one side since his injury. I agree with you. It's always been down Deulofeu's side. Ocampos, yes, he's been imposing a bit of his style, but I'm not too fond of it, to be honest. So yeah, definitely agree with that. DJ Ram, what's up, Gio? I think team will get back to the form tomorrow. I just hope that Locatelli gets back to his form and takes it easy, with the slides. Yeah, I think he kind of calmed down with that. Definitely, I guess, a bit of inexperience played a role in those challenges. But yes, I think he calmed down. Let's see exactly if he will be getting a chance, first of all, tomorrow. Like I said, I think that Jose Sosa will be starting. That's at least what the latest lineups are actually saying. Moving on with some more questions. Seyun says, well said, Gio. Wish we had a Pirlo and Gattuso in the midfield, but Kuchka is what we have. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. I'm happy with him, but I know we could have better in the future. Vignesh says, Deulofeu won't play because of his child. I haven't really heard about that, to be honest. From what I've heard in the latest lineups is that he will be starting. I don't know where you've read that, to be honest. But as far as I know, Deulofeu will be playing tomorrow. Lagarto says, Gio, do you think that Milan will do what happened last year with Brocchi, the best manager of all time, or not? Nah, I really don't think so. I really don't think that Montella will be sacked. I think he will be, kept for the end of the season. That will be just stupid if he does get sacked, first of all. Second of all, I don't know. I don't think he will get sacked. I think, easier to stay for a while. Especially that we're really in contention for Europa League. I don't think that will be the case. Dean says, Gio, my first son, Daniel Darko. Heard you mention Leonardo. He will like a mention as he is also Rossonero. Well, there you go. There you go, Daniel. There's your mention. You guys have a good father for making you guys a Rossonero, that's for sure. If Locatelli is fit, he should start. He is the future in today's Milan. Locatelli is fit. He has been called for the team, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, definitely he's been called. But yeah, I don't know. I think Montella is just preferring Jose Sosa at the moment. He's seen maybe how he's playing in the training sessions. Also, let's be honest with ourselves, Jose Sosa hasn't had the worst of performances every time he's played recently. He's been contributing to the attack. He's been providing the attack with some assists. So I think it's a big question mark for Montella at the moment. And let's not forget that Montolivo is also set to return soon. So we'll see exactly there. No, Montolivo has not been called up, for those asking. I think he still needs a couple of weeks to return, but he has been returning in terms of training, so that's for sure. But no, he has not yet returned or called up, sorry. Gio, what are your opinions on Kolasinac? Honestly, I haven't watched much of him. I've heard about the reports. I haven't really gathered any important information regarding him. I saw some statistics. I see that he does provide a lot of assists, so that's very good to see. If I'm not mistaken, he is a fullback. He's young, so I'm happy with that. I'm definitely happy for a link with these guys that could provide a lot of assists and provide more of attacking options also going forward with the crosses. that's very good. But to be honest with you, I haven't seen much of him. I have to do some more research on him, and maybe later on, when we actually start the transfer dailies again, we will be speaking more and more of this player if, you know, he's actually set to move to Milan. Bernardeschi or Berardi? I will probably have to go with Bernardeschi, to be honest with you. Berardi is a good player, but I don't know. I don't like his attitude. Sometimes that kills my vibe. He's not the best of disciplined players, let's be honest with ourselves. And Bernardeschi, I think, you know, he's a more well-rounded option than Berardi. Yes, Berardi is a very prolific goal scorer, but Bernardeschi, to me, you know, I think this guy is definitely a player that we need. Someone's suggesting both. Yeah, if we could have both, even better, but I don't think so. Afi says, which players can make the best of our midfield trio? Which players give us the right balance? Do you also think Vanjoni should keep his place because Antonelli always has a goal in him? Well, Vanjoni's not playing tomorrow. Antonelli, I know he's been called up, but yeah, I don't know. Antonelli has always been my preferred option from the start, even before Vanjoni was playing. And I like Antonelli going forward. Vanjoni is also a very good option going forward. But I think defensively, Antonelli's better. And therefore, I would have to choose Antonelli over Vanjoni as he could contribute to both sides. But as we speak, I don't think we'll be seeing Antonelli much for the rest of the season, as De Sciglio's set to really take Vanjoni's place on the left side now that Calabria is set to play on the right. So we'll see exactly what will happen there. Sean Samuel says Locatelli, Kushka, and Bonaventura is the best trio. I think I could agree with that. I very much like that trio. Like I said, if we had a better midfielder instead of Kuchka, I would definitely put him instead. But for the actual players that we do have, I think that's the best midfielder. Midfield. W1919 says, any news on the sale of the club? I mentioned it several times that I would refrain from speaking about further news or rumors regarding the sale until it actually happens, but it seems like something is supposed to happen during the course of next weekend. Once again, I'm not gonna really speak much about it because every time it seems like, you know, we just get deluded thinking that's gonna happen and then it just doesn't happen. So I'm gonna wait until there's an official confirmation to speak about this, but it seems like at least that's what the latest reports are saying. There's supposed to be something happening next weekend. Yeah, Lagarto27 says, also very important, Atalanta tied today against Sassuolo, so we definitely need a win, and the race for Europa will be so entertaining. Yep, stated that at the beginning of the video. Like I said, Atalanta dropped points today, 1-1 against Sassuolo. Very happy about that, but it really doesn't mean anything unless we win our game. Because, yes, Atalanta dropped their points, whoop-de-doo. If we don't win our game, if we don't get the 3 points ourselves, it's really not going to mean anything. So, let's wait and see what happens tomorrow before actually being happy about this weekend. But yeah, there's still lots of games to be played. Also, if we win this game, we're only going to be 2 points behind Atalanta. They're playing Roma next week. We're playing Inter. It could just be a big situation right now. And I think it's really going to be until the last 2 games or the last game until we are actually sure of where Milan could potentially end this season. I personally wasn't expecting this much of a tight race with all the other teams, but you know, that's pretty much the case this year. It's pretty crazy. I guess healthy competition is good, but it's pretty insane how many wins you need to get just to make it to the Europa League this year. Chrissy says, Gio, yes or no with the sale happened? Do not explain, just yes or no. I say yes. That's it. It's over. I just came in. Can you please repeat the possible starting 11? No problem, Sarhan. So, starting 11. Donnarumma in net. Back 4, we got Calabria on the right side with Zapata and Paletta as the center backs. On the left, we got De Sciglio. Midfield, we got Kuchka on the right side. Jose Sosa in the middle. And on the left, we got Pasalic. up front, we got Suso on the right. In the middle, Bacca. And on the left, Deulofeu. Lazio's playing against Napoli. We could get to -3 from 4th place. That's also true. Inter's playing an easy game against Crotone. But then again, anything could happen. You know, Inter lost against Sampdoria last week at the San Siro. Maybe Crotone could pull an upset. You just never know. You know, Pescara tied us. They made us drop some points. Why can't Crotone do as well? Yeah, the 6th place is pretty much confirmed for the Europa League now, because the final will be between Lazio and Juventus, and pretty much seems that both teams will be making it to Europe, whether it's the Europa League or Champions League. It seems like both teams will make it, but yeah, definitely it's going to be top 6 from the looks of it, unless Lazio end in 6th place, then they will be taking it. Or unless Lazio end in 7th place. Sorry, if Lazio end, let's say, in 7th place and they win the Coppa Italia, they will be taking it. And the 6th place position won't be getting anything. That's pretty much the scenario, if that makes sense. Volcano says, Gio Gabriel Barbosa said on Twitter, maybe the thing you are most scared of is exactly what you should do. And afterwards posted an image of Kaká, Pato, and Ronaldo. What can this mean? What I think it does? Not sure what this means exactly, besides the fact that they're all Brazilian. I'm not really understanding the meaning of it, to be honest, but let me know if you have any idea on it. Or unless you're trying to suggest that he's going to be coming to Milan. I don't know. Is that what you're trying to say? But let me know exactly what you think. I think that's going to wrap it up for this match preview. Just a quick reminder, guys, that tomorrow there will be the live stream watch along starting 30 minutes before kickoff. And of course, that's going to be at 3 p.m. Italian time. That's the kickoff. And following will be the match review. So make sure you guys subscribe to Rossoneri TV to stay updated and on task for those videos, so you guys don't miss any of the action. Also, don't forget to donate. You guys could donate via the super chat by clicking on the $sign right below where you type in your comments. Any donation is very greatly appreciated, and your name will be appearing on the live stream tomorrow if you do donate. So besides that, don't forget to leave a like on the video, and that's pretty much it, guys. So make sure to come back tomorrow for the match review and the live stream watch along. I'll catch you guys then. This has been Gio signing off, and as always, Forza Milan.